Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 833.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about where are we with the stimulus checks? Because many people have not received their checks, their second ones. Some people haven't received their first checks. And so we are going to catch you up on where we are with the stimulus checks and give you all the latest details. Because I know everyone's curious, what in the heck is happening? This article comes to us from CNBC. It was written by Lori Konish. And it says $1,400 stimulus checks, $15 per hour federal minimum wage. How soon Americans could see more money. And it has three key points. The first is President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion relief plan includes proposals for additional direct checks and a higher federal minimum wage. Second key point, those efforts to get more money directly to Americans could change amid negotiations on Capitol Hill. Third key point, Americans hoping for more take-home cash will have to wait to see how the negotiations play out. Well, let's hear more detail on that. The article says a new $1.9 trillion plan pushed by President Joe Biden includes a host of initiatives aimed at shoring up Americans' finances as the COVID-19 pandemic rages on. That includes $1,400 stimulus checks to bring the $600 payments Congress authorized in December to $2,000 in total. The package also calls for raising the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. Now, Biden faces the task of trying to get the package through Congress. Despite a Democratic majority in both the House and Senate, analysts expect that this will be no easy task. At a news conference on Monday, Biden also acknowledged that terms could change. I don't expect we'll know whether we have an agreement or to what extent the entire package will be able to pass or not pass until we get right down to the very end of this process, which will probably be in a couple of weeks, Biden said. The point is, this is just the process beginning. For Americans, that could mean a longer wait before they see any more money. How the $1,400 payments could change. The idea of new direct payments is popular with Americans. A recent Morning Consult poll found 79% of adults surveyed backed the idea, which came in second after providing more small business aid with 82%. So I want to pause there and say that's a really interesting poll, this Morning Consult poll. 82% of people approve of more small business aid, which makes sense because obviously we're in lockdown again. Small businesses are in the same boat again and need an extension of those benefits. So I'm glad to see that it has such a high approval rating. And 79% liked the fact that adults were getting direct payments. Let's take a look at that poll for just a minute and see what else it says. In third place, behind additional small business aid and providing new stimulus checks, 72% of people said to extend housing finance policies. Well, that's very interesting because we know that 25% plus of mortgages in America are in forbearance. So this is 72% of people wanting additional forbearance time. Next is increase unemployment benefits, 69%. The fifth most popular thing is to aid state and local governments, that's 69%. Taxes on the wealthy, 65%. Boost U.S. manufacturing, 63%. Regulate climate risks in finance, 59%. Regulate large banks, 57%. Student loan debt relief, 56% want that. And regulate small, mid-sized banks, 43% would like to see some regulation there. And it also says in this poll that taxes on wealthy Americans also received large levels of support at 69%, though Democrats, 81%, were much more favorable to such measures than Republicans, 45%. While some Democrats have called for a wealth tax, Biden has said his plan would raise taxes on capital gains, payrolls, and individual incomes for households earning more than $400,000 a year. All right, let's go back to our stimulus article and see what else it says. The $1,400 sums for stimulus could be up for negotiation, namely because of arguments that the aid would not necessarily be directed at those who need it most. There's a legitimate reason for people to say, do you have the lines drawn the exact way? Should it go to anybody making over X number of dollars? I'm open to negotiate those things, Biden said. The $1,400 amount was selected based on the $2,000 number the House of Representatives tried to move through in December. In the end, Congress agreed on payments of $600 per person. I picked it because I thought it was rational, reasonable, and it had overwhelming bipartisan support in the House when it passed, Biden said. Experts expect passage of the package could be delayed and ultimately scaled down. I want to pause for a moment and say, on Be Wealthy and Smart, I've reported on several computer DDoS attacks and other hacking schemes. These days, you need to add an extra level of security to your computer. That's why I added the Trend Micro home network security device to my modem, so it connects to all of the devices in my home. So whether I'm on the phone or on my computer, I can see the virtual private network, or VPN, is on, shielding anyone from hacking my computer or seeing I'm online. It protects all devices connected to the Wi-Fi in my house. I don't have to worry about bank accounts, brokerage accounts, crypto accounts being seen by a hacker. I love the extra security that there is, and it's one less thing to worry about with my finances. I recommend everyone sign up for this. It is well worth it for peace of mind and protection. Go to trendmicro.com, that's trendmicro.com, or click the link in the show notes and use the discount code LINDA20, all capital letters, LINDA 20, to save 20% off your home network security device purchase. That's trendmicro.com and code LINDA20, all in capital letters. You can also check out the free home network security device app on the App Store today. And now back to our podcast. One of the big debates right now is a balance between act fast and act big, said Ed Mills, Washington policy analyst at Raymond James. If lawmakers move fast, the $1,400 checks and money for vaccines would be most likely to make the cut. Those are the two most bipartisan portions of this bill, Mills said. A bigger package would probably require a process known as budget reconciliation, he said. The most likely change around stimulus payments would be better efforts to get money to those who are suffering most in a K-shaped recovery, where some parts of the economy are slower than others, Mills said. Such a change could mean fewer people may qualify for the full $1,400 payments. I think Congress wants to find a way to get assistance to those who are in the bottom leg of the K, Mills said. How soon those payments reach people will depend on how quickly lawmakers agree. Democrats have said they want to get something done in the coming weeks. However, the next most likely pressure point for Congress to reach a compromise will be in mid-March, when some support for the unemployed runs out. The national minimum wage has not been raised from its current $7.25 per hour since 2009. However, lawmakers may not be ready to push through a mandated higher hourly rate with the new stimulus deal. Mills said it's highly unlikely such a change would go through. Voters support increases in the minimum wage probably more than some members of Congress, Mills said. However, when asked on NBC's Meet the Press on Sunday whether the administration will be willing to table raising the minimum wage, White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain reaffirmed the administration's commitment to getting it passed now. We certainly think the minimum wage should be part of this urgent relief package, Klain said. On Tuesday, Democrats in both the House and Senate reintroduced a bill to raise the federal minimum wage to $15 per hour. The proposal calls for gradually raising the pay rate by 2025. So end of that article, but we're going to look at an article that's linked to this that talks about reintroducing the bill to raise the minimum wage because we want to know more about what's going on with that. All right, let's check into this. It's called the Raise the Wage Act. It says the Raise the Wage Act would increase the pay floor to $9.50 an hour this year, then to $11 next year. The minimum wage would rise to $12.50 per hour in 2023, $14 in 2024, and $15 in 2025. The provision to index further increases to median wage growth aims to ensure the country will not go another decade without a higher minimum wage. A $15 minimum wage has gained traction in pockets of the country. 8 states and Washington, D.C. have now approved increases to that threshold. The latest was Florida, where more than 60% of voters in November supported a $15 pay floor. Democrats have cited the result, which came as more than 51% of voters in the state backed former President Donald Trump as evidence for the policy's popularity. Advocates have also noted the policy's potential to cut into racial and gender inequity. In cheering the Raise the Wage Act on Tuesday, the left-leaning think tank Economic Policy Institute said 23% of workers who would benefit from the policy are Black or Latina women. End of that article. All right, well, in summary, it sounds like we still are in waiting mode, waiting for politicians to get this agreed to and pushed out the door. In the meantime, I've heard that if you didn't receive the first stimulus check, you can take a tax deduction for that $600. So let me update you a little bit on that in case you didn't receive your $600 check. Ken Vargas, an IRS spokesperson, said more than 100 million stimulus checks went to Americans through direct deposit. We expect another 10 million or more to go out this month, he said. CPA Erica Guittieri said those payments are not taxable income. It's not going to offset any tax liability. It is monies that should be coming right to you. If you didn't receive either payment or only a portion, Guattieri said you can claim it on your 2020 tax return. Some people may have had dependents, children born that they should have received the credit, but just because they looked at odd year returns, they didn't. Vargas said it's called a recovery rebate credit on the tax form, a recovery rebate credit. You want to make sure you tell us whether you got your first payment last year starting in March through the summer, or did you get your second payment this January, he explained. The pandemic forced many Rhode Islanders to set up shop at home, but Vargas said if you're not self-employed, you likely won't be eligible to receive a tax credit from working from home. For most people who are just working from home, there are really no big deadlines they can take, he said. If you paid out of pocket to create a home office, you can ask your employer for reimbursement since they will benefit from it, according to Guattieri. There are some laws that those employers are allowed to deduct those expenses this year, she explained. Guattieri said there is a newly added tax credit for those who donated to charity. If you no longer itemize on your return and you get the standard deduction, they are allowed to take, for single people, $300 for amounts paid to a charity, and if you're married filing jointly, up to $600, she said. The IRS is dealing with a backlog of nearly $7 million in unprocessed paper returns from last year. Due to COVID last year, over the summer, there were trucks filled with millions of letters and tax returns to the IRS that just sat for months, she said, adding that many of the employees were furloughed. Vargas said that's all the more reason to submit returns electronically, which also allows you to receive your refund faster. If you're still doing it on paper, it's going to add another 3 to 4 weeks before you get your refund. Vargas added that if you haven't received your 2019 tax return, there is no need to refile. We are processing all 2019 returns and correspondence in the order we received it. Taxpayers who find themselves waiting for a refund are asked to be patient and wait for the IRS to catch up on the backlog. If you're still waiting for a tax return, you can track the progress using the IRS's website. The deadline to file 2020 tax returns for businesses is March 15th, while for individuals it's April 15th. If you can't make that time frame, you can file for an extension. Although you will owe the tax due, but you can file the paperwork later. All right, well, now you're up to date on everything about COVID benefits, minimum wage, and the tax deduction available to you if you didn't receive your COVID benefits. So I hope that answered any questions that you might have about all of those things. And I certainly hope that Congress can get together and do the right thing for the American people, keep our businesses open, keep people rolling along, and keep their homes safe and in their possession. If you haven't yet subscribed to Be Wealthy and Smart, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified as soon as new podcasts are available so you never miss one of them. And we have our holiday giveaway extended until February 1st. We're getting right down to the wire. I'm giving away my Wealth Heiress book signed by me. That book was named to the list of all-time best wealth books by Book Authority. I'm also giving away my Wealthy Mindset Blueprint audio set valued at $197 and some one-on-one wealth mentoring sessions with me. All you need to do is leave a podcast review for Be Wealthy and Smart on Apple Podcasts. That will get your name in the drawing one time. And if you've read the Wealth Heiress book and leave a book review for it on Amazon, that will get your name in the drawing 2 times. And winners will be announced on February 1st, so make sure that you leave a name on the review that you will recognize when I call your name, and you'll know that you've won. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.